Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 143 of the All Dolphins podcast. Omar and I this morning.
You do not have a 43. You do not. I know you don't have a 43. There
I,
there there
I knew one guy off the top of my head other than Andrew Van Ginkel, of course. Um, but no, it's a very, very thin list. Actually, I knew two guys. I'm lying. But I went up and looked at my reference site, and yeah, it's not a whole lot. Anyway, we are here to recap the Hard Knocks episode 2 in season with the Miami Dolphins. Before we get to that, number 43, I don't want to say the two guys who stand out are Bud Brown, who's a safety from Southern Miss, maybe that area. Hard hitting guy, played from 84 through 88. And then Terry Kirby, who for some
Terry
reason
Kirby. I
I
think
have.
you used that one the first time.
There you go. And I have in my mind that he also wore 42, maybe at some point, maybe he switched numbers. Great pass catching running back. I mean, decent running back, but more so for his pass catching from the University of Virginia.
Good
Uh,
third down back, and Terry Kirby was
yes.
actually one of my favorite backs as I was growing up. I was that guy who was always like, man, why can't the Dolphins get Dan Marino a run game? Not factoring in my mind that Dan Marino was also part of the reason why they never had a run game. But that I didn't really understand football at that point. But Terry Kirby, I loved his pass catching ability. I loved his blocking prowess. And I thought he was a decent runner. But then there was a running back who came after him that was even better. I can't remember the name. Oh, Parmalee. I thought when Parmalee got his shine, he really grinded. What? You gonna put disrespect on Bernie Parmalee's name?
As a pass catcher, Terry Kirby was better than Bernie Parmalee.
Oh yeah. But I'm talking about as a runner. I thought
Oh,
they were a very
yeah,
good compliment.
yeah. But you actually said something in there that was like, and I'm glad you said it because I've kind of said it that something about Marino part of the reason they never have a running game because I know it's a lot of well if only Danny had ever had a
If
running
only
game.
Danny had a running game,
Well,
and
there's part of the reason.
now that we're both very seasoned in terms of football and coverage of the Dolphins, Marino probably opted out of. Give a number estimation of runs that he probably opted out of.
Oh, a lot, and beyond that, also when it comes to like, remember earlier this season I mentioned how much I like Tua's ball handling, and part of it is carrying out play fakes.
I still haven't seen that, by the way.
Okay,
But go ahead.
well, Dan Marino, as who I will say may be the best pure passer in NFL history. That's a compliment. When criticism, when it came to play fakes, he was a great passer. I mean, it was like I will not be bothered with running a play fake. It was like basically show the ball for like a millisecond and pull it away so he can get into his set.
As somebody who's done radio in this market, I will let you know that if you think Tuanon is bad, wait till the Dan Marino
Oh, 100.
crowd finds out that you've slandered Dan's name, good name, by saying he's bad at ball fakes. But anyway.
No, he was horrible at ball fakes. But if you notice, I say that in conjunction with adding that he may well be the greatest pure passer in NFL history.
It's much like Tuanon. The positive that you say will be absolutely ignored. It's only the negative that applies.
Yeah, and for those who would say that purely was on the coaching staff and the running back and the offensive line, the fact that he had no running game, sorry.
No.
Yeah.
No. Both you and I used to have that opinion as a young man. I'm much more aware and intelligent to to put that thought process together. And in fact, the genesis of his beef with Jimmy Johnson was when he got his play calling and audibling ability taken away, primarily to facilitate the run game.
Correct. And if you know, because Jimmy Johnson had balance in Dallas
Yeah.
with, Aikman, Irvin, and Emmett Smith, and Marino wanted to chuck it. And yeah, this is something I felt. Now that I'm old and wise, and I don't know, not nearly. I wouldn't say I'm not really shy about speaking my mind. To me, it's kind of clearly obvious if you're being honest with yourself, and it doesn't take away from the fact that he was a brilliant passer. But he wasn't perfect because there's no such thing as a perfect quarterback. And speaking of Dan Marino,
I think Tom Brady would disagree. But carry on.
Who would disagree?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady had zero mobility. He moved well in the pocket. And he had great
pocket.
pocket.
So your perfect quarterback has to have mobility too?
Well, isn't that the definition of perfect?
Okay, then Steve Young.
He was up there. He was up there. Okay. Anyway, let's come back to the present now that we've pissed off enough people. Uh,
Oh, there will be shots fired.
oh man, yeah. The comments are going to be fun. Dan Marino was featured in the episode of Hard Knocks on Tuesday night, consoling Jaylen Phillips in the locker room after the game and after his Achilles injury. And obviously, it was a very Jaylen Phillips centric episode. And personally, I thought it was brilliantly done.
Yeah.
They covered his angle, I mean, thoroughly, from his journey in college to the season he was having to the injury when it happened, the reaction to the aftermath. I thought it was brilliantly done. And I thought overall it was a very good episode. And I know you disagree, but
that is good producing from that standpoint. And I will acknowledge and agree. And in fact, I tweeted out this morning that is the beauty of Hard Knocks being here and covering the Dolphins. What you get to see as fans is you get to now see the human side of all of this. Like most people who follow teams, they care about the players, but do they really care about the players? All they see in them is gladiators. Do you really care about Teron Armstead and everything that he goes through to make it to Sunday, whether he's playing at 70% or even worse? And I looked at Teron Armstead's film. Teron, that was not Teron on the field against the Jets. And I know this is probably not what we were going to talk about, but I know he responded to something that I said on Twitter, and that's not important to me. What's important to me is that, like, all these Dolphin fans who sit here and think we got to get rid of Teron Armstead, he's bum, he's made of glass, he's this, he's that. I'm sorry, you are not the same team with Teron Armstead as you are without Teron Armstead. And I love Kendall Lamb. You know I love Kendall Lamb. I'm a card-carrying member of the Kendall Lamb fan club. Yes. But Teron Armstead is a different level of player. And when he's right and healthy, he is a force, a catalyst. He is the reason you had 70 points. One of the reasons you had 70 points against the Denver Broncos. What was on the field against the Jets, which is why I understood why he pulled himself out the game, was not Teron Armstead. But anyway, but the human side of these athletes is what Hard Knocks, I hope they continue to paint for the rest of the season. There will be other guys who suffer season-ending injuries. Hell, Savon Ahmed suffered a season-ending injury the previous week. I saw him for one 15-second minute with a boot on his leg, still attending meetings. And I was like, yeah, that's dope. But what these guys go through, Jaylen was playing the best ball of his life when he got injured. That was the best game. He didn't even finish the game, and that was the best game. He was impactful on 70% of the plays he was on the field. Just impactful. And to see him get hurt like that, to see him cry coming off the field, to see the team console him, to see the D-line meeting up at Chubb's house for a meal and to talk. Obviously, that's scripted for Hard Knocks, blah, blah, blah. And it's great. And I love it. And it gets and see Ogba talk about, having to fight through injuries and the mental toll. And to see Chubb saying, in these situations, you either get better or you get worse. You got to make sure that you get better. And to see Nick Needham consoling, like, think about the connection of Nick Needham, who suffered an Achilles injury late last October and struggled to work his way back to get here at midseason. And now Jaylen Phillips suffers his injury a month later. Is he going to be back for the beginning of the season or the middle of the season? Is he going to be feeling all the way back? We saw Cameron Wake come back from an Achilles injury, and that was one of the best comebacks that I've ever seen in my career covering the Dolphins. So my hope, and I know Jaylen a worker. Like, if you see his body, you'll know he's a worker. The guy's got less than 10% body fat, probably the fittest player on the team. And that's not God-given ability. That's just work ethic. So I know he's going to work hard to come back. And just seeing that story was touching. I love that aspect of it. I did not like the episode.
Okay, a couple of things, if I may. I'm going to add a couple of names to your guys who came back very well from Achilles injuries. Brent Grimes. You should know that, Omar.
Yeah, but I didn't see that one. I saw the
You saw
return.
the comeback. Okay, and then Dan Marino.
I saw the return, not the comeback, the return.
Okay.
And
And
Dan
then
Marino, that Achilles injury was botched. Even Dan said the procedure was
well,
botched.
except that the argument could be made that he came, but this was 1993 in October. That's when he was injured, and the argument could be made that 1994, if it wasn't his second best season behind the record-setting 84, it was up there. So I mean, he came back very well, and then after that, then you also it wasn't just the Achilles, and he started having knee issues, and then kind of at some point it went downhill. But so the history is there, and Jaylen is going to work really hard. A couple of things about the thing also. It was kind of ominous and creepy because if you recall the play right before he gets hurt, he put his hand over his right leg. I don't know if you caught that. And then the very next play, boom, it pops. And then coincidence, he was mic'd up for the game.
Yeah.
I mean, no. I'm just saying it just the way it worked out. I mean, and the whole thing to me was like very, very well done. And Jaylen,
I'm curious how many guys they mic up for a game, but I
correct, but it's not every one of them, and he just so happened to be one of them.
Man, that was, and for Mike McDaniel to go up to Jaylen Phillips, and I truly did feel this, and say you're going to be a household name after this game, and let the game come to you. And that's what he was doing. Even the moment where he tells Christian, this is the play that's going to happen, doing sort of like a Jason Taylor-esque thing where they, because of their film study and their preparation, they know the situation and they know the formation. Zach Thomas used to do it too. And then Christian's like, this is not the young boy I'm used to. Like, this is, he's like, he's getting all goosey on the inside, to steal a Brandon Tobin word. You were watching a young man come into his own. Because remember, 2 weeks ago, he talked about, and they used it on the clip, how he'd struggled with his own confidence.
Yeah, correct. No, and this is the point I was going to make is Jaylen Phillips is also different as a football player because he's kind of, I want to say he's a Renaissance guy. I mean, he studied music. Talks about
but why would you say he's different? Because I think that a lot of players, they don't fit into, and you would know this, they don't fit into this cookie cutter. When you start to peel back the layers, they don't fit into a cookie cutter. This is what they are. And Jaylen is I've met 20 other players like Jaylen.
Out of how many?
500, 600.
Okay, so you got.
Yeah, I mean,
that he's not, and I think we're all agree that football is a very macho game, and Jaylen is not a completely macho guy, okay. and I say that in a positive way.
Okay, all right.
When his teammates are
his emotions and feelings.
Correct, absolutely, and then when he's showing pictures of his cats to his teammates who are completely mocking him.
Yeah, I know how you feel about your cats.
I'm a cat. Actually, I'm an animal lover. I'm an animal lover. We have 2 cats.
Hate cats.
All righty then. Okay. Now we're
finicky, emotional felines.
I got a cat who's like a lap dog. Seriously, I literally will tap my lap and the cat will jump on me. So yeah. Okay. Anyway.
All right. Maybe I shouldn't put cats in one box.
All okay. Right. Thank you. Okay. But the whole thing is, and again, is it possible that the fact that they showed his emotional reaction on the field, is it possible that wouldn't have been done with every single Celtic player? Did they ask Jaylen, "Are you okay with us showing this?" Because remember,
no.
We sure about that?
Yeah, they showed him crying. I mean, the world saw him crying coming off the field.
Well, the world, yeah, with a towel in front of his face, which is kind of, anyway. My whole bottom line is I thought it was very, very well done. It was
you get a moment, you're not asking for permission as a producer when you get a moment like that, and understand that Hard Knocks, the purpose of Hard Knocks is to show the human element of this gladiator-esque sport. where people suffer injuries. You really shouldn't play it. I do not encourage
Except
children to play football.
except there's where I'm going to disagree with you is, for example, the regular Hard Knocks is they stop showing players getting cut, and that's the human element of it.
Yeah, but it doesn't put it. No, but that doesn't put the NFL in a favorable light. They stop showing the bullying, and they stop showing, and they stop showing the Turk and the cuts and the releases. Okay, but that's not. Understand, this is part of the NFL brand, and they
Yeah.
have to show things that will help this $16 billion business become a $20 billion business. And the human element, humanizing these gladiators, that these NFL teams will cut in a heartbeat if it favors them, is beneficial to them. Showing the Turk and people getting released, and how and really, truthfully speaking, I've always never cared. Yeah, they make the not River Craycraft. What was that guy's name? 7-Eleven.
Yeah, Chris Hogan.
They make the Chris Hogans of the world the stars of the show, when Chris Hogan's probably the 60th best player on the team. Like, come on, man. I don't like the training camp Hard Knocks, and now I feel like I'm preferring the regular season Hard Knocks, because you're showing people that matter. And in the training camp, that, man, half the time those people that they focus on, they don't matter. They don't matter.
Well, I agree, but they're looking for storylines. I mean, I understand. Anyway, let's wrap up the Jaylen Phillips angle of this. Bottom line, I personally loved it. It almost felt like a little mini movie within the episode, with the setup, the big climax, and then the aftermath. I thought it was brilliantly done, personally, and I thought it was very emotional. And obviously, we saw it, we knew about it. Seeing it from behind the scenes like that, I thought it was very well done. And it wasn't. There were like other little quirky moments that was great. I don't know if you caught this. Did you not love Aaron Rodgers telling Raheem Mostert, I'm still mad at you after the game when he gives the handshake?
I didn't see. No.
Yeah. And why? Because Raheem Mostert rushed for 20 yards and 4 touchdowns for San Francisco against Green Bay in the 2019 NFC Championship.
Damn.
Yeah, and then Mostert's like telling Rodgers, dude, you got to let it go. And Rodgers like, no, I'm not there yet. I mean,
I did not catch that. No.
Yeah, that was good stuff. Or Mike McDaniel he's talking with Stephen Ross, Robert Saleh, and Woody Johnson, and talking about how he got hit in the Netherlands on the sideline. That was funny too.
No. Yes, I like the kicked in the D. I in fact cut that up because I'm going to make it a GIF. I'm sorry. I gotta be who I am, man.
No, that's really fine.
But I like the Woody Johnson in the chain, and the basically him talking to Steve Ross, negotiating my contract. Yeah, and I want it in my contract. Like, I get a chain. I wonder if it's gonna say Mike. And the fact that he says, "Yo, that's totally me," or whatever he said, like, I was just like, that is Mike McDaniel. He's so unique. And what people need to pay attention to, especially in these team meetings, is the sneakers that he's showing off to his players. Because
no, you need to pay attention to that because you're a sneaker freak, and
but I mean, it's so next level. Like I don't care what Jaylen Waddle says. Like, I've never seen Jaylen, maybe because Jaylen only comes in the locker room and slides. Like, I've never seen Jaylen wear 1/3 of Mike McDaniel's collection.
What are slides? Sorry.
Flip flops. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But see, and I know you, like you said, you weren't necessarily thrilled with the episode overall.
I thought it dragged in the beginning. Oh my God. And why do we have to start every episode with the team meeting? Don't start the episode with the team meeting. Start the episode with something in the aftermath of the Raiders loss. Like, take us from the Raiders loss to the team meeting.
They beat the Raiders.
I'm sorry, the Raiders win. Yeah, the Raiders win to the team meeting. Like, we got to start every episode with Mike McDaniel and the team meeting and setting the agenda for the week. Like, I honestly, and I'm just going to be honest, I don't find Mike McDaniel's speeches very good.
Wow. Ouch. You went there. Man, we are just like, I mean, we're gonna be like this.
I'm sorry. There's a lot of rambling, and I'm sure you know.
No, Mike would do that, and I love Mike, and I think he's a very, very good coach. But yes, he does.
But I did like his post game speech. I did like his post game speech, and I wrote notes about it. And basically, he basically says "F you" when they ask for
Victory
another
Monday, yeah.
Victory Monday. He says "F you." This isn't our Super Bowl, guys, and it's true. Like Mike McDaniel has, like, they're focused, they're locked in. I don't think they've had a Victory Monday all season.
No, and it's actually funny that you bring that up because in the pregame show on Sunday, they did a feature, and Rex Ryan was the one who was at the front of it, talking about Victory Monday and what it is, and all clips and all that. Then there wasn't a clip of Mike McDaniel, and there was a clip of Robert Saleh. And I was going to put a joke on Twitter, and I was nice I didn't do it, and I was going to do the joke as like, if they're doing doing a feature on Victory Monday, why is Robert Saleh being featured? I didn't do that, and I was going to put too soon.
And the shorter week was difficult. He talked about the challenges of the shorter week. I would have liked for them to have shown me a player going through a shorter week. Show me Raheem Mostert's routine going through a shorter week: massage, chiropractic therapy, cupping. Because players, they don't realize this. Most people, and I didn't realize this until I started working for I Am Athlete. Most players, the high level players, they get 3 massages a week, like 3 hour-long massages. Visit to the chiropractor. Might go acupuncture, might go cupping, just to get to Sunday. Like, if you don't think that that's Teron Armstead's routine, you're sadly mistaken. Because Teron Armstead is an elite player who his body is his fuel. So there's a lot of work put into it. And for instance, notice when Jaylen Phillips is in the training room, who's also in the training room outside of Alec Ingold, who's got the foot issue, Raheem. And we both know Raheem's probably out there playing at like 70%. Maybe 80%. He's battling through some stuff. And man, you gotta live in that training room just to make it to Sunday. And I don't think they painted that picture. And so that's what I would have liked to have seen. I don't like to start in the episode with the, for Hard Knocks people, if you're watching this, because it is a review of you, and everybody's always sensitive about their work. So I know you're watching it. Whack to start the episode with Mike McDaniel setting the agenda for the week. Don't start the episode there. It's slow. It drags. And
it wasn't that long a scene, though. I mean, if we're going to be fair about it, it wasn't that long a scene. Come on, dude. No, and then he go to the field, and to me, it was great when he threw out the line. My one ask is get effing sleep.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that. The inside stuff is what I like.
The little nuggets, and they were, to me, there were enough that in the QB room when they're asking every player what they're thankful for. And then Darrell Bevel tells the players it's the best QB room I've ever been a part of.
Yeah, I thought that was bull crap. I just did.
Here's the thing. I would think it's more bull crap.
Have you seen some of the QB rooms Darrell Bevel's been part of?
Well, he wasn't talking about the quality of the players. He was talking about
the room. Yeah, but you always, I like the guys too, and I think they're great guys. Tua is always.
What was that?
I just think you always say, man, the room that we're in is great. When have you ever heard, my room is real toxic?
No. I mean, Omar, you not. And this is with the type of comment where, had he said that in a press conference, I'd be the first one to say, well, of course, what else is he going to say? But he volunteered that in the middle of a conversation, or maybe he knew the cameras was on. He said it. We said it for the camera. So everybody's, it was kind of. You're right. It was fluffy.
It's just like, oh, the room is so great. Why is the room great? Why is the room great? Tell me why the room is great. Like,
they're all great guys and we love each other.
Yeah. Tell me what room was. Did Matt Moore hate Ryan Tannehill? Maybe. Okay. All right. Let me retract my statement. All right. Anyway, maybe there isn't a great room.
Or maybe they tolerated each other.
Great room. I also liked the element of Tua throwing those 2 interceptions, them chronicling it, and then you seeing Tua beating himself up, and the coaches and the players saying, basically telling him, stop beating yourself up. Mike McDaniel has made it a point to acknowledge to us, like, this is an issue. It is an issue for me. I have to address this issue. He is ultra critical on himself, and I can't stop it. And I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing, but the fact that Hard Knocks let me see it, because you can see he's sitting there beating himself up. Like halftime, he's beating himself up. And I'm thinking to myself, like, does this make you a better player or does this make you a worse player? Because I have to believe that Aaron Rodgers goes out there, makes a mistake, throws 2 interceptions, and flushes it. Great cornerbacks, the same thing. The great cornerbacks that I've covered in my career, and I've covered some great ones. Oh, they get beat, flush it. It's gone. Like,
I think every player is wired differently, and for some that's how they need to operate, and for others they need to be the arrogant stuff. Like, I threw 2 picks, including a pick 6. I'm still great, and so I'm no big deal.
So, do you think Tua beating himself up makes him a better player?
I'd have to spend time talking to him, like one-on-one for a good half an hour to get inside his head. Maybe it does. I don't know. I don't think that we can say categorically that it makes him a better player, or that it makes him that he could be better if he didn't have that. I don't know that it's that.
Yeah, they have this statistic, and I don't know what it is, and I don't really care. But I am bringing it up because fans who are Tua non-fans, they have the statistics. Tua after an interception, the drive after an interception, the numbers are tremendously good, except for, I'm sure, the interception he threw after the interception. It's not going to help those numbers now.
There was also I also recalled, I'm going to do this again. Yes, I'm going to do this again. There was also a drive where it was basically nothing but running plays, and it was a touchdown drive, and the narrative was like how amazing he is after a pick.
Tua not gonna get you.
They already got me. I mean, I'm in the crosshairs like nobody's business.
Yeah, you didn't have to bring it up though. See, that's their problem with you. You don't have to bring things up, and you do, and they're like, no, we gonna get you. So
because I don't like overblown narratives, and it's like that's an overblown narrative in my mind. So, but
okay, you are a statistician, and I want to know this season what's Tua after a interception drive. I would really like to know.
Maybe, okay, I mean, what you mean is passing numbers, or we're talking about the success rate of the offense after an interception?
Probably both. Like, and I know they're good, and I'm sure Tuanon is going to see this video and send it to me because it's what they do.
Well, I don't know the numbers. I do know from like just watching the games and remembering that they usually do pretty well.
Yeah,
I don't know.
My thing is, and I probably want to get to it today with Tua, because this seems to be a running theme and a running trend. And I have written a column saying I'm not pleased with what Tua is doing, where he is, how he's performing. He should be better. And
I'm not happy with you, mister. Go ahead.
Yeah.
That's you to Tua. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I know you got it. I know it's there. I'm not seeing it, and not right now. And you got to clean it up. So I understand his thought process, but there's some concern that I have about the fact that he is so ultra critical of himself. Is this a driving force? Because Mike McDaniel clearly sees it as a negative.
Okay.
And that's something that I want to get to the root of probably today, just so that I can understand where everybody sits in this conversation.
Circling back to Hard Knocks, my favorite Tua moment was he's in the huddle and he's telling Raheem, I like to surf here, Raheem. I'd like to surf here. And then Raheem scores a touchdown and they do the surfing celebration in the end zone. I thought that was very cool.
Yes, the inside. Yes, I like the game action of it, and I understand. And one, I've realized Hard Knocks is only 45 minutes. It's not a full hour. So, and I think 20 minutes of it is the game. And then the after of the game. I think 5 minutes of it is the after of the game where you saw Jaylen Phillips. So I see the formula now. And my hope is that, let's say this week, you get into the journey of Devon Achane and the on and off, the re-injured, this guy was sensational, and then he or per se, you tell the story of Raheem. Or I'm listening.
Teron. You know, Teron's got to get some FaceTime. I mean,
no, but you're showing him at his lowest moment, and you're showing him on a downswing and feeding into the narrative that he's always hurt. No, you're not following me at that point. You're going to show me when I'm at my glory. You're here for 8 weeks. You're not showing me at my lowest point.
I get your argument, but they're not. They don't know we don't know what's going to happen down the stretch. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just throwing out. And of course, we had the obligatory Tyreek handing the football to his wife.
I mean, the wife is going to be a storyline. The wife is going to be tracked. Like, do you think she was sitting field level for no reason?
Did it add anything to the broadcast, though?
Yes, it added here. This man is a family man. He is committed to his wife. The wife will be back. Home games, baby. She's gonna be.
Absolutely, and hopefully she doesn't get nachos spilled on her, and she's careful when she stands up to cheer play. But again, to me, it was very brief. I will say that, and it's after a touchdown, so it's noteworthy. But do we need to see Tyreek handing her football every time?
Yes, we do. We do. Absolutely, we do. We absolutely do.
Yes, we do.
Tyreek is the biggest star of the show. Him, Tua, and Mike McDaniel. Mike's quirkiness is a huge element. Tyreek's comedic relief, and Tua, the guy that you need to make everybody fall in love with. That's what they're building on Hard Knocks. And then other subplot stories are going to be there. So you're going to have to get weekly doses of Tyreek. Like, do you think they're going to like all of a sudden feature Jalen Waddle? No.
No, well, because he's not a very big personality. I think he's a great kid, but he's.
What are you talking about?
I said he's not a big personality. Wow, is that even a subject of debate? Omar, don't leave me hanging like this. I mean, seriously. Wow, we're really having this conversation.
I don't think Jalen is as boring as people portray him to be. And
that's not what I said. Is he a big personality?
He's got personality.
That's not what I said. Is he a big personality?
They say he's the funniest player in the room. In the Dolphins locker room.
Your Honor, instruct a witness to answer the question.
No.
Thank you. Jesus, that took long. I would expect, here's one guy I would expect to see more and more FaceTime, and he got it a little bit yesterday. That's Christian Wilkins. He had the thing. Well, you want to talk about big personalities? That's a big
personality. He's been mic'd up for 2 games now.
Okay, there you go. And then he had that thing with Sealer, and I love his line when he was telling Sealer to get off the iPad and called it his emotional support iPad. I thought that was funny. But there was no line nearly as good as all over the world they speak whoop ass or ass whooping. Sorry.
That's line number 1.
I don't know that I'll ever be topped.
But yes, the emotionally support. I mean, we've seen. I like Christians. There's my bitch. I mean, in theory, I saw Christian at the Heat game last night. Him and Jalen Ramsey. And I didn't see them. I mean, I saw them I wasn't. Yeah. I wasn't sitting near them. I actually was sitting near them, but not close to them. But yeah, I Christian showing up with his belly out, and here's the thing.
What was that really necessary? I mean,
here's the thing about it. And this is where I will object, because Christian was poking out his belly, because I've seen Christian with his shirt off, and Christian is probably the first defensive tackle that I've ever seen in my life that has abs. What?
He does?
Oh yeah, Christian has abs. I've noticed it from his
rookie. Davis has abs. I mean, if he's the first defensive tackle, then
Ooh.
Raekwon.
okay, maybe Raekwon just got abs because he does that whole bike thing after practice. Raekwon's lost a lot of weight, and that's what people don't realize.
Oh,
Raekwon's lost
no.
probably 30 pounds. He's like at 310. I gotta ask him what his weight is. But he rides a bike after practice and has done that for every single practice since training camp for 20 minutes. And he's lost a tremendous amount of weight. It's huge inspiration to me. I'm losing weight now. It's mostly depression, but that's another subject story.
Sorry, Omar.
But you know, Christian has abs, so him showing up with his belly all out and putting on a shirt, that's just Christian entertaining you. But I think Christian has to step to the forefront and be more personable.
Yeah, well, and I'm going to be the contrarian again. Rank him in terms of solidness, if that's a word, of the overall body among the interior defensive linemen. Raekwon Davis, Zach Sealer, Christian Wilkins.
Oh, Christian's number one, and I say that without any question.
What?
I remember his rookie season. I was like, wait a minute, you have abs? And I actually said this to him, and he's like, yeah. And he was like all offended that I didn't think defensive linemen could have abs, because I've seen defensive linemen my whole career. Yeah, they got abs under fat, but they don't necessarily have abs. And Christian's got abs. Christian's always had abs.
And see, to me, it would be Raekwon, Zach, Christian.
Raekwon just got there. Hold on, Raekwon just got there. Acknowledge that.
Raekwon was always solid, even when he was clearly carrying more weight. It was still like really like solid weight. And I say that for Christian Wilkins fans, I should say out there, he's the best of the three, even though the other two are, especially Sealer's a really good player, and he's the most athletic of the three. But in terms of like rock solid bodies, be number three. But okay,
I think you're underestimating Christian.
I think you're underestimating Zach Sealer and Raekwon, or you're overestimating Christian.
I give you Raekwon might have a better body right this very minute, but he just got there. It
was still solid, and Zach Sealer's pretty rock solid too.
Yes.
Anyway, we digress. Final thoughts here. We've been going at it for a bit. Final thoughts. Hard Knocks.
Didn't like the episode. Didn't think the production level was very high. They got to do a better job with the storylines, and I think Jaylen Phillips absolutely saved the episode. We'll make it one of the great episodes of in-season Hard Knocks. But I'm sorry, you can't have a fourth quarter comeback to win the game.
Okay, grade 1 to 10.
Damn it. I got to give it a 7 because Jaylen Phillips was so damn good.
Yeah, 7's pretty good.
I would be lying to you if I said, because that last 20 minutes, just okay, let me ask you this question, and we're just, Jaylen Phillips doesn't suffer a season-ending injury. How was that episode?
Oh, it would have been routine, but I didn't think there were that many fluff moments that I could easily flush away. There wasn't anything over like great, but I don't think there was a whole lot that was like bad. I know you didn't like the opening Mike McDaniel speech, but to me there were some like decent moments throughout, and then with a banger of an ending, unfortunately, because of the Jaylen injury.
Yeah, what would you rate it?
8.5.
Yeah, I thought the first episode was about a 6. I thought the game footage of it saved it. The Max Crosby aspect of it saved it. But yeah, the Jaylen, I thought this one slowed. It was a slow development, and then Jaylen Phillips was like, boom, took it there. And
I don't know if they didn't. To me, I don't know that, and I'm not exactly sure what, but it seemed to me that more could have been done with the pick six. Considering,
yeah. I think you build on the pick six heading from this point. Just like I said, don't start with the team meeting, it's whack. I think you start this next episode with the Jaylen Phillips pick six and
Javon
paint
Holland.
Javon Holland.
Holland.
Yeah, Javon Holland, and paint his story. Paint his story leading into that Washington game.
And they got
yeah.
No, and they got the perfect tie-in because of the big screen TVs that he unleashed for everybody. You're not aware of this story?
No.
There's a television manufacturing, and we probably should write a story about this on alldolphins.com to fully explain it. TV manufacturer, I want to say TCL, promised they would give away $1 million of big screen TVs if there was a touchdown of 98 or 99 yards in the Black Friday game. And boom, Javon Holland delivered, and he got one of those. And Omar is speechless, or is your screen frozen again?
Wow, are you serious?
Oh, I'm not joking. I don't kid. No, I do kid, but not in this instance. Yep.
I didn't know that.
Okay, so look for it on alldolphins.com. We'll write a story with all the details.
So who's going to get the TV? Am I going to get a 90s TV?
There was a giveaway you had to register for. It's funny because my wife said the exact same thing last night. I was like, when are we getting our TV? And unfortunately,
when did that come out? Anyway,
day of or day after?
Yeah. Wow, that's impressive.
Wow. Yeah. So when Javon's named AFC Defensive Player of the Week in about around noonish on Wednesday, we'll when we write about that, we'll include the large screen TV giveaway.
All right. Well, this is the first of 2 episodes for today. Later on today, you will get a recap of who's practicing and who isn't. And we'll talk about this week's matchup against the Washington Commanders. We also have Behind Enemy Lines up right now. You can look for it at Behind Enemy Lines, sponsored by You Break Will Fix, a new sponsor for the show. And if you are interested in sponsoring for the show, reach out to us. You can find our information in our YouTube page. And we will see you later today.